Hey guys, how are we doing? Back with another video from Seth the Programmer. Now, this one's called Krillin vs. All of Naruto, and I think this is going to go down that Krillin is going to win this, and I can see why, because when you take the fact that when you scale Goku versus everyone, you always start with what Piccolo does and everyone else. Krillin's pretty much up there, and I think this is just going to go down that Krillin could just ace everyone in Naruto, really. But let's see what Seth has to say on this, shall we? I'm not the expert.
Hello everyone, so today we're doing a very heavily requested topic, and that topic is actually Krillin versus the entire Naruto-verse.
Cool.
Let me bring down how this is mainly debated against more casual debating fans, or versus fans, and it goes a little something like this. Well, no, Krillin can destroy planets. Naruto can't destroy planets, so he solos Naruto. He's just too powerful. And then for the Naruto fans, it's like, what, Krillin? He's so fodder. He's died like 1,000,000 times.
Yeah. But then you think about who's killed him.
No, stop. So I've been a Dragon Ball and Naruto debater for many years, since I was like 12 years old, so
okay.
A considerable amount of time.
That's quite a while.
But
well, I don't know how to do it.
It's actually the reason I got into power scaling, was because I wanted to know about
Who
Dragon
would
Ball
win?
versus Naruto. I was always curious, where does Naruto stack up in Dragon Ball, and would Dragon Ball just shit on Naruto? Because I love the series. I love the series equally. So the
when
arguments
it comes to
that I always hear
power
nowadays are, of course, like Krillin solos Naruto, or Naruto would easily destroy Krillin, blah blah blah, stuff like that. It's mainly what people want to know, actually, when it comes to the series fighting. Most people don't seem to think that Naruto could solo Dragon Ball or something like that. What you need to know about Krillin, is I've done videos on this, is that Krillin is actually extremely powerful.
He is.
Despite his weak demeanor. He's very intelligent.
Think about who he can
Dragon
go up
Ball
against.
Standards, although Dragon Ball standards aren't very high in Naruto standards. But in Dragon Ball standards, he's very smart. He fucking was gonna kill Nappa with the Destructo Disc, and even though Nappa was his superior, he's able to get away from Dodoria, cut Frieza's tail off, hold off Imperfect Cell and filler arcs, stuff like that. But the reason Krillin is so powerful is because Krillin's easily multi-planetary and possibly star level if you wank him a little bit. Now the reason for that is Piccolo in the start of Dragon Ball
in 4 seconds.
was actually capable of obliterating the moon to absolute non-existence in 4 seconds flat, and the shockwave from him obliterating said moon into non-existence was hit Earth. Like, he could feel the shockwaves of the moon being obliterated from Earth. Now, that is in itself over 300 exatons of force, and reaches into the small planetary ranges lowballing. Even if you lowballed the velocity of said attack, it's actually could be possibly just normally planetary. Now, this attack is from Piccolo at the start of Dragon Ball. And as we know, Krillin actually surpasses that same Piccolo by over 4 times by the time he trains with Kami, and easily one-shots numerous Cybermen who are all 3 times stronger than that same Piccolo that just obliterated the moon into nothing. Now, some people will always bring up Master Roshi obliterating the moon. However, that's completely different, because the guides actually specifically state that's a moon-level attack. There's no shock waves that hit the Earth.
It just literally just does that, and that's it.
Stuff like that. So it's a little bit more consistent to say that Piccolo's small planetary, and we don't want to highball too much, because in debating, you try to be as logical and rational as possible. You want to be as convincing as possible, so we don't try to fanboy or anything. We're just being as
fanfic, no brain cannon, no none of that.
Planetary level attack in just the early Saiyan saga. Now, Krillin surpasses this by numerous times. By the way, that attack was easily relativistic, since it hit the moon in at least 4 seconds. So if you multiply that by at least 4 times for the Saiyan saga, it'd easily be over 300,000 kilometers per second.
Crazy.
And he would, in fact, be the speed of light. And then on Namek, he gets his potential unlocked, which allows him to fight
even further
fighters that rival Vegeta, who is tens of times stronger than the Cybermen ever could dream of. On top of that, his potential keeps rising as it's unlocked, and he's capable of rivaling the Ginyu Force by the time he
That's
fights
crazy.
Second Form Frieza.
Oh, really? Right,
This is
okay,
confirmed in some of the V-Jump guides. And
Cool.
then by the time he reaches the Android Saga, he's just absolutely monstrous. And we know characters like First Form Frieza were capable of destroying, planet
Planets
Vegeta,
just
which
straight
had
away.
10 times the mass of Earth. Completely obliterating it, something like Piccolo obliterated the moon, but with a planet 10 times the size of Earth, which would be 10 tons of force, which would be small dwarf star level in terms of attack potency. And then Krillin gets to the point in Dragon Ball Super that after chugging some juice and lifting some weights in his fucking bedroom for a year, he was capable of actually beating Gohan, who was simply testing him.
Crazy.
The same Gohan who was able to fight Solar System level Lavender. It's impossible to state how strong Krillin really is to these characters. All we can really say for absolute certain
And he also fought Goku in his Super Saiyan Blue form.
So by that logic, he's at least multi-large planetary, maybe just large planet plus, and at least dozens of times the speed of light. And if you want to highball him, you could say he's rivaling Android 18.
That's a deal.
Trained
That's a
with
big
18,
deal.
And 18 was going to tag team with him against Goku. So maybe he's rivaling Android 18.
So we are using Super in this as well. God damn.
Frieza is hundreds of times stronger than he was in his first form, and Android 18 is stronger than Frieza.
Yeah.
So it's logical that he
Krillin
may be
is stronger
star
than
level if you highball him.
Yeah.
However, the Naruto verse isn't too weak itself. It actually does have somewhat rivaling powers. Maybe not to highballed Krillin, but to maybe a lower balled version. The Naruto verse does somewhat have a relative power. Power of the Naruto verse when fighting Krillin isn't really necessary. That's not how the fight's really going to boil down. But I'll briefly explain why they're somewhat relative a little bit. For example, the Naruto God tiers in terms of power. I mean, Kaguya created an expansive truth-seeking orb that was so massive that it was going to consume an entire a planet and moon-sized dimension, possibly a star level.
Possibly star level. We don't know.
And then we know that Madara actually had techniques like the Sage Art Light Fang, which would confirm the speed of light, and that Night Guy was able to run so fast it was warping space, which is on the verge of running at the speed of light, since it would increase his speed increased his mass to such a great degree that it was warping space, which would in fact be like black hole-esque kind of shit. So they do have the planetary light speed-esque Saiyan Saga vibe, right? No one's trying to argue that Naruto is stronger than Krillin per se, maybe some people, but Naruto versus Krillin in terms of power, yeah. Krillin's stronger than Naruto.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll say that right now. That yes, he is stronger, unless you highball Kaguya to star level plus, which he might be. However, like I said, Krillin can solo the Naruto-verse, but he doesn't solo the Naruto-verse. Now, the reason for that is that the Naruto-verse is very hacksy. They're
very different techniques and jutsus and stuff out there that they could use against him.
Might Guy got the 8 gates. He was so powerful that the mere shock waves from his punches were going to kill Madara, and Madara would have killed Guy 8 times over in their fight if it wasn't for numerous other Kage-level fighters teleporting away Madara's attacks and defenses so that Might Guy could just beat the fuck out of him. That's a perfect example of strategy and hacks overdoing power in Naruto. However, that's not what would work on Krillin. For Krillin, he's from Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball characters rely on concentration, ki, and courage to amplify their defenses and powers. So, for example, when Master Super Saiyan Goku was taking a fucking nap and there's a butterfly on his nose and everything was sweet and peaceful and Krillin threw a rock at his face, it was the most agonizing experience of Goku's life, right? Or when God Goku thought Frieza was done for and he
got blasted with the laser beam.
Normal Frieza soldier fodder like Sorbet could pierce God Goku with just a ray gun. Stuff like that. Or he could pierce base Goku, who's still massively more powerful than anything in Z, with just a ray gun. Krillin would fall under the same consequences. If Krillin was ever knocked unconscious or asleep or off
wasn't
guard,
paying attention,
similar effects would apply. Another thing about Krillin is that Krillin, he goes for the KO against opponents, even against the Frieza Force, who he should have PTSD. Actually, he did have PTSD in Revival of Frieza against the Frieza Force. Even after getting that PTSD experience of them killing him, or Frieza killing him, he was still generous enough to only knock them out.
Yeah, he doesn't go for the kill, does he?
Try killing them. Yeah. That's how kind to even people, to his enemies he was. He wouldn't kill them. Now, knocking opponents out is great and all. Maybe that would work. That would work on 99.9% of Shinobi. Although for the god tiers like Kaguya, Momoshiki, the Sage of the Six Paths, Naruto, maybe not Sasuke, and Madara, is that knocking someone out with just like a little chop will not knock out a god tier Naruto.
No.
In fact, a lot of characters wouldn't be knocked out by that due to their massive.
You're gonna have to go all out there,
abilities.
Krillin.
Or the
Your personality is gonna let you down.
Like, yo, are you okay? The 10 Tails regeneration for Madara and Kaguya is just too insane. Madara literally was kicked so hard half his body blew off. You think having a little chop on his neck's gonna knock him out for the rest of the day? You're wrong. Period. Maybe for someone like Sasuke, though, who doesn't really have any regen or something, maybe then I could see it. But then there's other characters that could wake Sasuke up or heal him, which is another problem, Krillin faces, is collective strategy, planning. His morals are simply not correct for this type of battle. Like, for example, if Krillin was bloodlusted, he was completely irritated, like completely feral. And he charged up a Kamehameha so powerful that it looked like the final flash and just obliterated like the entire battlefield of Shinobi. Sure, maybe he would win.
But
however, that's not how Krillin fights,
no.
and that's never how we've seen him fight. So only a bloodlusted, action replay-coded Krillin would win this battle. In terms of how this would actually go, Krillin would probably sweat a little bit, be meek, and try to greet his adversaries, in which they will try to instantly hacks kill him right off the bat. Maybe he can dodge some, maybe he can't dodge some, but there's a problem, is that there's massive ocular genjutsu abilities for most of the high tiers in Naruto, like the Sage of the Six Paths,
Rinnegan and the Mangekyo would work on him,
or anybody with their ocular genjutsu could actually manipulate Krillin unconscious. So the reason ocular genjutsu, I know genjutsu usually only works on people with chakra, however Sharingan plus genjutsu does not require the flow of chakra.
Mangekyo higher can work on people without chakra.
Sasuke manipulated Manda, who is a sage creature who doesn't actually
We've also
have chakra,
seen it in other
or manipulating
things
the
as well.
Bijou, who don't actually have like a flow of internal chakra, they're just chakra incarnate, stuff like that. It's actually more like injecting chakra into your opponent subconsciously and then being manipulated to your will. There's also things like Izanami and Izanagi. Izanami being able to completely manipulate the physics of you and your opponent into putting your opponent into a loop until they concede the battle, or the infinite Tsukuyomi, which would lock Krillin unconscious and anybody could kill him while he's unconscious, or even during the Izanami. There's also things like Sasuke's could teleport Krillin.
I like how he's done this, so there are ways.
Sasuke could teleport Krillin to
But
them,
if Krillin was to go all out,
and
angry,
Madara's Limbo clone could literally kill Krillin, because Krillin cannot see, sense, or hear a Limbo clone, and he would be caught off guard and one-shotted. The argument that any Rinnegan user can steal the opponent's soul.
Yeah.
So, like Madara, if Sasuke teleported Krillin to Madara, Madara holds his hand out and Sasuke teleported Krillin to Madara. Madara could literally rip out Krillin's soul. Or you could have a Totsuka Blade Genjutsu combo where Itachi Totsuka Blades Krillin with the formless Totsuka Blade and seals him to a Genjutsu. Or you could have Kaguya or DMS Kakashi battlefield removal him. Krillin just does not have the right mindset to deal with this. Like I said, if Krillin went balls deep and was nuclear bombing everybody,
he'd wipe it all out.
Sure, great. Plug your controller into Krillin's ass and tell him how to fight.
But
then maybe he wins.
Yeah.
But for the most part, Krillin doesn't know a single thing about these guys. He doesn't know how they work. He doesn't know most of them regen or heal each other.
Yes.
He doesn't know they can manipulate space.
It is very out of character. Damn. Can you imagine if he did that?
It's just so far-fetched to say Krillin wins. So like I said before, I'm going to say it one more time.
He does.
Krillin can solo Naruto.
Doesn't.
But he doesn't solo Naruto. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed
He has the capability,
video.
but
Hope you learned something.
I like that.
Until next time.
It's very fair. Very fair. He has the power. He has the ability. But can he go through with it? Probably not. That's cool. I like that. I do like that. You got both sides to it. How? And why not? That was awesome. I like these comparison videos when they actually like have a, it's not just statements, facts, info, backs it all up. It's class. That was cool. I like it. Awesome. Thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know how to watch in future videos, and I'll see you guys. This is all you guys. Next time.